Hey everybody, it's Emily at Arg Schooling, and welcome to another edition of Do I Even Know My Own Reading Taste? So I'm going to be doing a little mini vlog the rest of this week while I read The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. So this was one of my 5-star prediction books, and I went through basically and picked a dozen books that I thought I would love and that feel to me like things that I typically enjoy. Like dark academia, like fantasy that sounds like something I would like historical fiction that I feel in my bones that is for me. So it's April, so we're 4 months into this experiment here, and I'm failing. I've had one book. My January selection was a 5-star, but then the book I picked for February, I DNF'd. The book I picked for March, I DNF'd, and I'm like, am I wrong? Am I not as good at choosing books for myself as I thought I was? Like, I'm so baffled right now. So I'm going to be reading The Hacienda. And I've been so nervous to start this all month because I'm like, what if I hate it? What if it doesn't work for me and I DNF it? I'm going to be so upset with myself. So I've been kind of scared, but it's happening. I'm reading this. We're reading it, and I hope I like it. Like, on paper, it sounds like something I should like. It's Gothic. It's historical. It's in an interesting setting that I don't read about enough. Like, I want to love this. I liked Mexican Gothic a lot, and I feel like these have similar vibes. So, like, this should be a 5-star. Also, I already own her other book, The Vampires of El Norte, which I also really want to read, but I really wanted to read this one first. So, like, I won't let myself pick up the other book because I haven't read this yet, which is so stupid. Like, it doesn't matter what order I read them in, but here we are. And so I'm scared. If this is a fail, I don't know if I'm going to continue with my 5-star predictions video series this year. I don't know. It's bumming me out too much. So I really need this. I really need this to be a 5-star. So we're going to start it. All I know is it's set in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence, and it says a young woman is certain that her wealthy new husband and his remote estate will save her, but something sinister lurks within the hacienda's walls. I've heard this compared to Rebecca, which is another reason why I feel like I'm going to love it, because I loved Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, so I feel like I should love this. This should work for me. Please. So we're going to read this and cross our fingers and toes and everything else, and I really want this to be a 5-star read. Let's see if it works for me. Also, I'm just like in such a mood right now. Like, I've had a really solid reading month, even though I feel like I'm not getting to all the things that I thought I would, but like I've had a lot of 5-star reads this month. So like I feel like I'm on a good trajectory and I want to continue. So will it be a 5-star? I hope so. I will let you know. We're going to talk through it as we read. So 5 stars. have now read the first 10 chapters of the Hacienda, and I am excited and thrilled to say that I am really liking this a lot. This strong 5-star potential right now. I can definitely see the comparisons with Rebecca, because we're following a character who is marrying this man that helps her to escape a life that she doesn't want to live, and weird shit happens in this house. And like, nobody in the house is willing to talk to her about it. What I like about this, though, even more than what I liked about Rebecca, because I loved Rebecca, that's a great story. But I love that this is like really digging into the supernatural elements in here. And like, when I say weird things are happening, I'm not even kidding. Like, it's super weird. And it's weird in a way that it can't be, ooh, no, just kidding, it's people. So I'm hoping that means that it's going to stay supernatural, because I really hate when books do that, when they're like, oh, it's definitely supernatural. Just kidding, it's people. So I'm really liking this a lot, though. Like, I'm currently, what did I say? I read the first 10 chapters. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30% in. I'm on page, oh yeah, I'm like just over 100 pages. So I feel like I'm on a good trajectory to finish this either tomorrow or, what day is it? It's Wednesday. So I finished this either Thursday or Friday, which is perfect because I have like one more book that I really wanted to get to this month, and I need time to be able to do that. So I think I'm going to be able to like blow through this though, because it's very bingeable. Like, I was nervous because sometimes stories that have like accents or stories that have a lot of names in foreign languages, like there's a lot of Mexican names in here because it's set in Mexico, obviously. And so sometimes it's hard for me to like comprehend what is being said, and I need to see the words. So I have to like stop what I'm doing and go get the book so I can like read along with my eyes. I have not had to do that more than once. I needed to double check what the spelling was on something because I was like, wait, I needed to know what that name was. But other than that one instance, I have had zero issues listening to the audiobook, like just the audio. So I was working on my cross stitch project that I've really not had a lot of time to play with. It's been so busy. It's been so busy lately. We had to prep for the conference in Virginia, and then we did that. I was gone for 4 days. It is fully thrown off my entire month. For a 4-day excursion. Like, what the heck? So that was a whole thing. Now we're home, but we're getting ready because we're leaving for another conference in a week. And I am a mess. So I've like had no time for hardly anything. Hence less reading this month. But I am so excited that this might actually be a 5-star. I feel like if I can just like have a few wins, I'll be on a better trajectory for the rest of the reading year, because I don't know. Now I'm nervous about what I have in that 5-star predictions jar. Like, I was wrong twice in a row. I hate that. But I feel like this is going to put me back on track. I feel like the Hacienda has strong potential. Even if it's not if it's a 4-star, I still feel like it was successful because like it's a good story. Like I don't know what I want it to do, but I'm loving what it's doing. So I don't know. I feel like there might be a weird romance brewing in here too that I wasn't expecting, but I feel like it could potentially be. Like, is it setting that up? I don't know. But I think that could be really, really interesting. Oh, I don't know. I'm loving this. I'm on a Gothic horror kick, I have to say. I feel like I've read several Gothic things this year and have loved all of them. And now I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm not in a dark academia era. Maybe I'm in a Gothic era. Maybe this is my Gothic year. I don't know. I'm feeling good about it though. So I hope that I will be popping back in. I think my goal is to read another 100 pages because this is not that long. I think it's like just over 300. Yeah, it's like 330 something pages. So I'm going to try to pop back in to talk to you a little bit more about it when I've gotten to page 200-ish. And I'll let you know if I'm still feeling like it's going to be a 5-star. So I did read a little bit more today, but I'm not 100 pages further in. I think right now I'm about here. I'm almost halfway. So still loving it. But I wanted to pop in because reading this book has made me realize that I think my favorite genre of horror would be Gothic horror because I am a sucker for atmosphere. I love a really rich, like, dark atmosphere. I love spooky houses. I love, like, hidden staircases and doors creaking and, you know, like, all those things that just evoke that feeling. I love that. So I wanted to talk for a quick second about some of the books that I've loved that perhaps you might love too, that fall into this category. So, like, obviously the Hacienda fits this category really well because, like, that's what inspired me to talk about this. But also, like, What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher is based on The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. So already, like, it has so much great Gothic atmosphere. And, like, if you haven't read Edgar Allan Poe and you think you like Gothic lit, oh my god. He is like the king of Gothic lit. So you definitely want to check out his work. And What Moves the Dead, I think, is a great way to, like, baby step into that because it is a retelling. So you get a lot of the feelings of the story without a lot of the heavier language that you would find in more classic literature like Poe. But it's still, like, a really good story and it's short. So it's a really great, like, introduction, I think, to the genre. But also, Mexican Gothic. I mean, obviously the Hacienda and Mexican Gothic have a lot of similarities, but very different vibes. Like, Mexican Gothic is about a woman going to, like, rescue her cousin, I think. It's been a little while since I read it. But I feel like she was going to rescue her cousin from a bad situation and gets trapped in this house and, like, finds a discovery, which I'm not going to go into because spoilers, but it has a lot of that same atmosphere. It's in the same place. It's different time periods though. The Hacienda is like 1820s, I think. And I think Mexican Gothic, I want to say, was like 1930s or 40s or something like that. So both historical, both in the same place-ish, but they have some similar vibes in them. Junie. And this one might be controversial because it's technically not labeled as Gothic. However, I do think Junie by Aaron Crosby Eckstein falls under the Gothic category because this book is all about the atmosphere. You're trapped on this plantation with Junie and there's so much atmosphere and just, like, a creeping dread. Like, a sense of dread, I think, is a big aspect of Gothic literature. It's just, like, it's not scary in the sense, like, a slasher is scary. It's scary in this, like, overwhelming sense of dread. There's just some overpowering feeling about the place in which it is set. Atmosphere. All about the atmosphere. And this definitely has that. Though, like I said, technically it isn't listed as Gothic, but I feel it kind of fits, like, in the Southern Gothic category. Along those same lines, This Cursed House by Del Sandine, which is Southern Gothic and also great atmosphere. I really liked the writing in that one. It had a lot of really interesting things to say about Black culture and passing as white and that sort of thing, but also just a really great atmospheric story about a family under a curse. And then I definitely want to point out Anatomy of Love Story. and I cannot think of the author's name, but you can see it here. But Anatomy of Love Story is like classic Gothic literature. Even though it's modern, but it's such a classic take on Gothic lit, where you're following a character who lives in Scotland. It's set in Edinburgh, and it just has so much atmosphere. But it's also about like a practicing surgery and a woman who wants to be a doctor and grave robbing, and like, it's so good. It's one of my favorite books, and I want to reread it. But like, I think this book might be helping me figure out my taste in horror for the very first time, because I feel like I've been a horror reader my whole life. But if you've ever asked me what kind of horror you like, I don't know that I could have ever answered that, because I read so many different things, but like nothing was like, this is the thing that I love, until like now. And I'm sitting here going, how did it take me till I'm in my 40s to figure out? I don't know. I feel like I really, the more I read and the more kinds of things I explore, the more I like solidify my reading tastes. And yeah, sometimes it takes a while to get there, but you get there. And so yeah, I think I'm learning a little bit more about my reading taste and how much I absolutely love Gothic literature, and how much I appreciate that kind of horror. Because I'm not really into a lot of like body horror. I don't really like a lot of gore. I don't generally like stories about monsters. But I do enjoy a supernatural element. I do like religious horror and that kind of thing. So like, I'm figuring it out. I'm gonna try to read some more today. I don't think I'm gonna finish it today, because I just don't see that happening. I still have too much book, but I'm definitely gonna finish it this weekend. So anyway, I'm excited that I may have actually hit another 5-star. I really hope it leans that way. I finished. I don't need a bookmark anymore. Did I have things to do today? Yes. Did I do them? No, because I had to finish this. I needed to finish. I needed to know, not merely for the story, but like just the sheer suspense of, will this be a 5-star? Oh, I have problems. But was it a 5-star? It was. Oh my God. The way I am so excited about that. Because to be honest with you, if this wasn't a 5-star, I was ready to scrap my whole 5-star predictions project and never ever speak of it again. So I am thrilled that I get to continue doing that, because there are books that I think I'm going to love, and I need them all to be amazing. And this was absolutely that. And it has just occurred to me that I don't think I've actually given you a synopsis of what this is before I start gushing about all the things that I loved. Let's talk a little bit about what this is about. So you know it's Gothic, and that it's set in Mexico, and that it's historical. It's set in the 1820s in the aftermath of the Mexican War for Independence. And we're following our character, Beatrice, who her father was killed during the war, and he was on the losing side of the war. And her family is kind of in a state where they need to be pulled back out of poverty, because with the death of her father, her mother and father married, and her mother left a good position. You know, she was higher in society than he was, and her family did not agree with this match, and so she went against them to marry this man for love. And now that he died, they are falling on bad times. And so Beatrice sees an opportunity to marry Rodolfo, who is on the winning side of the war and has money and status. She sees this as a way to save herself and her mother from destitution, even though this is not a marriage for love. So she marries him, she moves into his beautiful house, and she starts thinking in terms of, this is my home now, and I'm gonna make it my own, and I'm gonna make the best of the situation that I'm in, except, you know, the house has other ideas. And this is also a dual perspective book, which I did not know going in. And so when you listen to the audiobook, you have two narrators. And so you're following Beatrice, but you're also following Andreas, who is a local priest in the area around where the story is taking place. And Beatrice meets him, and I don't really want to tell you a whole lot about who he is, because I feel like the less you know going into this, the better, because the way the story unfolds, it's a lot of suspense and intrigue and what is happening. I loved this. I loved this so much. This has so many things that I love in stories. I feel like Stefan from SNL, like, this book has everything. This book has like great atmosphere, suspense. It's got romance. It's everything I could want in a book. I loved it. The romance especially, because like I am a person who enjoys romance, but requires like a bigger plot. Like I need another kind of hook. I don't typically enjoy romance for the sake of romance, you know? Like I don't read romance novels because I find them boring, because there's nothing there except the romance. I want a story that has romance in it. And that is exactly what this is. And the romance in this, some of my favorite kind. It's very much like a forbidden love situation, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm so happy right now. Like, I've had such a good reading month. Even though I didn't read all of the things that I wanted to get to, I loved damn near everything that I read this month. And that doesn't happen very often. I feel like it's usually 50-50. You know, books that were fine or that I liked and books that I loved. I feel like most of what I read this month I loved. I had more 5 stars this month than I've had like in any month so far this year. I hope that you will pick up the Hacienda if you've been thinking about reading it, but you weren't sure if it was for you. I hope that this video has helped you to decide if you want to read it or not. It's fantastic. I think too, this is another great book for people who want a baby step into horror, because while there are some like intense sequences in this story, there's not a lot of gore, there's not a lot of like weird stuff. It doesn't get like scary like other books do. A lot of it is just like the intensity of the atmosphere, the sense of creeping dread, all of that kind of thing. So it's a great beginner horror book. And like I said, it's historical, so it counts like his historical fiction. There is a supernatural element, so it's a little more like historical fantasy in that aspect. But delicious romance. Like the romance in this is spectacular. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, highly recommend. Highly recommend. So I hope that you, if you haven't read it, if you want to pick it up because of me, I would love that. I hope that if you have read it, we can talk about it in the comments down below. I would love to chat about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.